soul of entertainment.
Good morning and welcome again to Summit. It's a brand new week, and most importantly, it's a brand new month. Happy new month, everyone. It's already the seventh month in the year 2019, and someone said this morning that how time flies. Well, time waits for no one. Good to be in a brand new month, and good to have you join us again today. I am Jumoke Michaels. Well, this morning I'm not welcoming Banji to the program because he's not here. He's held up somewhere in traffic, but he will be joining us as we progress with the program. You're welcome once again. Well, as part of the trending stories in the dailies this morning, and it's also trending on social media and all media platforms, is the Ruga settlement issue. And one of the headlines this morning, it says that no land for Ruga settlement. Some leaders as from the southern and middle belt states are saying that the plan is provocative and repugnant. But the presidency is explaining the rationale for this scheme. And then it says it's voluntary and that only 12 states have applied. Well, I took my time also to read on this Ruga thing, and it's quite a laudable thing, really. If you look at it holistically, it's something that's supposed to increase the IGR for each state if they are able to participate in the scheme. But, well, we have the issue of insecurity ongoing, and Fulani herdsmen killing, banditry, kidnapping. But the problem is it coming at the right time? Or are there ulterior motives attached to this issue of Ruga settlement? But if you look at it, if you take your time to read on what Ruga is about, you find out that it's actually just a business scheme, something that we could use to raise money in the country. But that's the issue, one of the issues we'll be looking at this morning as we discuss restructuring and insecurity. And then also another reply from the presidency saying that no going back on cattle settlements, and that the decision is aimed at finding permanent end to farmers and herders clashes. Now that's another reason for this Ruga scheme. Okay, one, to raise the country's IGR, and also at finding a permanent end to the farmers and herders clashes. Well, that's from the presidency. And then another story trending is that the national grid has suffered another collapse as TCN blames incident on high voltage. Well, some areas in Nigeria have been enjoying consistent and constant electricity. But if you have not, well, we just have it on the news today that the national grid has suffered another collapse. So of course, Nigerians are already used to managing this issue of electricity, so probably it really doesn't make any difference to most people because we generate our own electricity, our own power. Well, on the program today, like I said, we are discussing insecurity and restructuring, talking about true federalism in Nigeria, which is one of the things that Afenifere is agitating for, even as they visited the president last week in Aso Villa in Abuja. We'll be looking at these issues this morning and how it's going to affect first our country and then the people. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly after this break with our guest on the program.
I just want the papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And month never even reach sef. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja from my hand. Shut up, sir.
I'm here to bail my younger brother.
If it
happened.
happen.
With good laws,
Proper funding.
Training.
and cooperation.
If it happen.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Summit. And the program, like I said this morning, we are discussing restructuring and insecurity in Nigeria. And joining us this morning, we have Otumba Bamidele Ajayi Smith. He's representing the African Citizens Development Foundation, and they have a special representation with, they have a special consultative status with the United Nations. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you this morning.
Thank you
And
after a
for-
long
for
time.
joining us on this rainy day.
That's right.
Thank you so much. You're
My
welcome.
pleasure. My
All right, we
pleasure.
also have Mr. Justice Huebu. He's an attorney at law, a human rights lawyer, and he's a friend of the house too. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. This is my
Thank
pleasure
you
once
all
more.
for defying this rain. I mean, it came just
Yes.
close to the program time.
It's
and,
part of the structure.
restructuring.
It is also our input for human development.
Yeah.
That's true, that's true. And that's also because we all love Nigeria
Yeah.
and we want the best for her. Thank you so much. All right, now let's start with the issue of restructuring, because from there we'll be able to link it with issue of insecurity and then this Ruga thing that is on everybody's lips right now. That's one of the trending issues. Now, this issue of restructuring has become an intergenerational topic in Nigeria, because from one administration to the other, we keep talking about restructuring Nigeria. The present administration has it as one of its campaign promises, and I checked, and it's in their manifesto to restructure Nigeria. But we have found one administration after the other, after they gain power, they always seem to put it aside. But first of all, before we look at one of the reasons why we've not been able to actually, take that big step into restructuring, what exactly is this issue of restructuring? Because we talk about it so much, but probably we still have people who really don't understand what restructuring is about. Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, restructuring has been the same language over the years. If you go back to Nigerian story, as far back as 1946, before I was born, and in 1954, in preparation for the independence, the clamor was also for restructuring. 1958 is the same. Now, after, actually, there was practice of restructuring, or let us use the word true federalism, Now, it has been like that all this while. But you see, the little I know about this issue of federating units, that is simply what you are saying is that we will have federal government and we will have state governments, which is part of the federating units, but they all must be independent. The federal level must not overstretch itself on the states. And it has always been the challenge that we have. If you go back to history, after 1960 of our independence, shortly thereafter, there was collapse of the system. 1966, we went back to unitary. The military government could not do anything about the real federalism, the so-called true federalism. So we went back to unitary government because it's not appropriate for the military government to practice federal. Even with, look, my approach is this, or my thinking is this. For out of 193 countries that are UN member nations, there are 165 nations that are not practicing true federalism. Because it's not an easy thing to say. In the real sense of it, you will have true federalism, where you have the federal government with the concept of true federalism, doing things that will not at all affect the states. And of course, it is so certain that whenever we have challenges, we run back to true federalism. Take the Yoruba, for instance. In 1993, when Abiola lost, when the Abiola election was set aside, discarded, Yoruba began to make noise about true federalism. But when President Obasanjo came to power, and in 1999, everything died down about true federalism. Nothing is heard about it for 8 years. One would have thought that with the noise that we had between 1993 and 1999, a Yoruba man will come to power and effect what they're agitating for. But it doesn't happen. Okay? The South, which was privileged to have President Jonathan as president, before then, they were also agitating seriously for true federalism, restructuring, and this and that. But for 6 years, nothing happened until the last minute, maybe about less than 18 months to the expiration of his term. Then there was this true federalism issue, national discourse, which doesn't, of course, I would have, if you asked me, I would have said, okay, why wouldn't President Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan, came up with, after the national discourse, why didn't effect the process of true federalism, whether he's going to win or he's going to lose? But he lost, unfortunately, and then it is difficult for another government to start effecting that, as far as I'm concerned. And so another government is there now. We started discussing about true federalism again. And we became so much in a hurry about it that we want it done in a jiffy. For me, I'm not a politician. I am speaking as a development practitioner. Whatever is truth about development is what I stand for. I believe that, especially when you are talking about true development, it doesn't happen overnight. It has to evolve gradually. It doesn't happen if you are talking of destruction. It does happen.
But it's not
faster.
It's not a new agitation. It's not a fresh agitation like we have been saying.
Yeah, but the idea is this. Whenever you want to do anything related, I am saying that out of 193 nations, even including the United States of America, the United Kingdom, they don't practice true federalism in the sense that we have it in mind.
All right, I think let's hear from
The
Mr.
barrister.
Justice. Yes, yes.
Well, I think the truth must be said or must be told. What is the name of our country?
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
No, apart from Nigeria, what do we call our country? Federal Republic of Nigeria. Have we removed the name federal?
Is there?
Fine. So why would we say we should not practice true federalism? Whether it was discussed before or not becomes immaterial. That something was done wrong before does not mean we should continue doing the wrong thing. Lord Dennis said in one of his cases, in the case of Packer versus Packer, that until we start doing what we have not done before, we will remain standstill while the rest of the world moves on, and that is what is happening to Nigeria today. We try to shy away from the truth. We've practiced it before. Did it not work? Then the regional governments and all the rest. Where the East, the West, and others went and developed their countries and all the rest, all their states and their region. My guy here is a living witness of that. He's an elderly person. They were the people that enjoyed the better part of this country because of that same practice. And today we are killing the younger generation by refusing to restructure, by refusing to practice true federalism, by refusing to do the needful. So as far as I'm concerned, if you have texted, yes, I agree that it was the advent of the military that caused the problem. But since the military has gone, we've practiced democracy for quite a while now. Why has it been so difficult for us to do the needful? And the answer is simple. One, because of selfishness, wickedness, and impunity. Because the so-called people who are rulers, because I don't see them as leaders, that are there today, are taking advantage of it, milking and sucking the country. And you know one thing, let me shock you. If you look at the problem of this country today, all the people that are superheading and masterminding the problems in this country are people from 50 years or 60 years and above. People that benefited the best from this country. That is why I said it's wickedness. Why can't we practice true federalism? Why is it so difficult for us to do?
Because something you said.
Yeah.
You said something about it's like even the agitation for the true federalism or restructuring seems to be ethnic.
Based on sentiment.
It seems to be ethnic.
No, I don't think so. Let me tell you one thing. He gave an example of during the Abiola saga, Obasanjo regime, Jonathan and Obasanjo administration, Jonathan and all the rest. But I want to give you an example. In a family where a man marries 3 wives, and one person is being given an opportunity more than others with their children, and the others revolt. At the time, the man realized himself and claim out of cunning way to have, to now listen to them and try to embrace them, and goes back to what he's doing. The agitation will continue. The question here is this: why has there always been an agitation? Forget about whether it is regional or whether it is this or that. Let me tell you the truth. The government itself at the center, they are even one of the masterminders of ethnicity. They are they are promoting ethnicity in this country. You want to know? You want to know how?
Yes.
You want to know how?
I'll just ask you how.
Fine. Go to any federal ministry now.
Yes.
To look for a job or to fill a form. The first thing you see there, your name, surname. The next thing you see is what? State of origin.
Yeah.
Local government of origin.
Which is everywhere.
No. Sorry, sir.
Even outside this country.
It's not true, sir. It is not true.
Even outside this country.
It is not true. That is ethnicity. That is ethnicity. That is promoting ethnicity. Let me tell you, sir.
Barrister.
The best thing. Let me tell you, sir. Let me tell you, sir.
Yeah.
Where you are born, your place of birth becomes your domicile, and by implication, you are a citizen of that place. What our constitution, our law, provide a citizenship and not indigenship. We are promoting indigenship instead of citizenship.
Okay.
And that is the problem we have. So not until we look at some of these things holistically and tell ourselves the truth, and look at our, you see, when people complain about the constitution, I keep on telling them that the constitution, simplicity as it is not that too bad.
I agree with
Look
you.
at it very well, but the problem is, the people who are supposed to be the custodian of the constitution, who have sworn to an oath to uphold the constitution, which is the ground norm of the country, are the people with impunity that are not ready to do it. Today we talk about the declaration of access and all the rest. How many of them are doing it? But it is constitutional.
That's right.
If you look at the chapter 3 of the constitution, which they have made to be injusticiable, these are part of the problem we are having. We talked about federal character. This administration today, are they upholding to federal character as enshrined by the constitution? What are we talking? Let me tell you the truth. Until we get a leader, leadership could know so many things. Forget about whether Jonathan was there or whether Obasanjo was there or this and that. No, it is the material. Let me give you an example. Somebody like Jerry Rawlings of Ghana. Jerry Rawlings went to Ghana, became the president, and he broke the barriers. And today, Mandela did it also. So it's not as if that there are no people in Africa that can do it. But we've not gotten people with the will, with the political will, that will close their eyes and say, no, I want to work for the interests of the people. Because let me tell you, democracy is government of the majority. Today, it is no news that the majority wants federalism. Through federalism, restructuring. Let's even remove the word restructuring. Restructuring is all about through federalism. Now, if the majority of Nigerians want this through federalism, and you are under a democratic dispensation, why not listen to them? That is just the thing.
All right, if we need to, like you said, okay, let's use the word true federalism more than restructuring. Maybe that's why it puts fear or nervousness in our system when we talk about restructuring. Why do you think we should use more of the word value reorientation, institutional restrengthening, and things like that? Will that still be able to occupy that same picture of true federalism that we are talking about?
You see, there is nothing much wrong with even the word true federalism. But then, what many of us don't understand is that you don't get things done overnight. We have one problem in this society. And that's why we have had several military changes. When somebody came today, you all welcomed the military government, you wanted it done. In another 6 months, other group discovered that you are impatient with one policy or the other. You ran into it again. They wanted a change. And another military government will take over. We all welcome that again. That's what we had until we were a little bit conscious. At the time of General Babangida, that we now said enough is enough. Now, this current government was there for 4 years. There are so many things, whether the barrister will agree or not, so many things that have been done badly, terribly. And it doesn't mean that this government will be able to achieve all of this overnight. It will take time. It doesn't even happen in 8 years. That's my own perspective. It doesn't happen. It's not an issue. While I was coming to this studio, something just came to my mind, which he said now. I just said, how many of us, especially those who are polygamous, can restructure their home, their small home? And I'm glad he just mentioned that.
Are you against?
I'm not against restructuring.
So, but you don't see it as a feasible thing?
It is feasible.
Okay.
Now, take for instance, the issue of local government has just come. It's part of restructuring. The president says all the money that must go to the local government should go directly, not through the governor any longer. Look at the agitation. many of the governors, not only the other party, but even the APC, they are going against it. Because they've made a lot of money. They've made these people to just accept whatever they do. It is just, look, sign this and get this in the past 4 years. We're now saying, as part of restructuring, even though it's not a gathering of saying, okay, all of you should sit down, what are we doing about local government issue? The government at the center says there must be a restructuring in this case. All the money that belongs to the local government should go there, and they should use it. There are a lot of agitation at the moment.
Yeah.
But the government, the federal government, which is the center, in true federalism, really, the local government must be independent. The state government must be independent. No one must lord it over the other one. But for years, it's been the other way. So the government is now saying, no, the state government, for instance, my own local government has not been functioning over the years. Ogun State, the state governor will just tell them, this is what I will give you, and that's all. And he has the power to say, you don't function any longer, sack them and appoint another one. That is changing. It's part of restructuring. I have nothing against restructuring. I'm only just saying that for us to achieve this goal effectively, it demands for time. It's not the way the barrister just said that, what is wrong with it? I am sure if he goes into government, and that's why during the last election, I was bothered. Many of the younger ones, I won't call him too young, I'm sure he's over 50, and
No.
not yet. Okay, no. That's why you categorize
Not
yourself
close
as
to
you.
that,
That's
yes.
why you are. But look, I begin to say many of these young ones that wanted to go into presidency, why don't they go to the National Assembly and make the laws? Why is he sitting down here? I know he's a human rights activist, but it would have been best for you to go to the National Assembly and be part of this law. Make the law so that you can change so many. Within the next 4 years, many of these policies will be changed. And then is it what I see Buhari doing at this moment? And I must say this. I told you, I don't have allegiance to any political party. But the truth is this. Even Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, I have never seen somebody who can withstand this level of intimidation without collapse. But that happens during Jonathan presidency. At a point, he became nervous. It was very difficult for him to take many decisions. It was very difficult. People wanted this, agitation from this end, and this and that, and it's all over. It's all over.
All right, I think you've been wanting to say something.
You see, in as much as this issue of restructuring has taken a very long queue and discussion in Nigeria, I personally felt that it's no longer supposed to be an issue because they know what to do, but they don't want to do it. But a quick one before we go to the other. See, let me tell you the truth. Anybody that is telling me that 4 years or 8 years is small to restructure is a blatant liar. You know why? You said it in your intro. The APC government, restructuring was one of their campaign promises, and even in their manifesto, number 3. Secondly, before you contest an election, you must have looked at yourself. You must have built your empire. You must have known what you intend to achieve and how you want to achieve it. So are you not telling us that you lied to Nigerians? Wait a minute. No, that is the implication. Wait a minute. You are not telling us that you lied to Nigerians that we are going to restructure when you know that it's not possible for you to restructure. Let's even think of it. Before now, we've been having issues and all the rest. Now, one of the reasons why Nigerians decided to have a change or to take a change was because of the promise that these things were going to be taken care of holistically from 1, 2, 3, and 4. But up to today, instead of getting it, we are now what you call lot of, what you call diminishing return. in economics. So nobody has an. So you want to tell me that this government should stay 16 years or 20 years? Because people always say PDP stayed 16 years. So which means we must wait for 16 years for something to happen. We are going to insecurity in the next few minutes now. Now, since the administration, this is the inception of this administration, it has always been cattle settlers, Fulani herdsmen, cattle rearers, banditry. Now it is Ruga. This administration has not built one school. Check it, go and Google it. This administration has not built one school for the people, for the citizens. This administration has not built one hospital for the citizens. Tell me what we are talking. 4 years have gone. We're still talking about insecurity, talking about corruption. Nigeria is not the only country that is corruption. There's corruption everywhere. I don't know whether you understand. So we must tell ourselves the truth. Like I said before, and my organ even confirmed it. If you look at it, I'm not even close to the age he's talking about. And the truth is that they are the people that enjoy the better part of this country. Now he said people like us are supposed to, yes, people like us are supposed to be there, but have they given us the opportunity? Excuse me, sir. They have not given us the opportunity. Because the way it is now, who are the people that have the money in this country? We heard about billion vans and all that. We heard about vote buying and all that. How much is nomination form of a party? How do you expect me to cover 5 million, 10 million to go and buy a form? During their time, how much was form? Sir, during your time, during your the First Republic and Second Republic, how much were you people buying form? Nomination form?
I wasn't a politician.
No, I'm asking you.
It's okay.
But you know, during the time of NCNC, ABGA,
sorry,
Action Group and all the rest, how much was form? But today, you people made it impossible for us. Are we supposed to be having the likes of these old men still in politics? The names I knew, I met, I read in government, in history, when I was in primary school and secondary school, they are still there up to today. And you are telling me that we are progressing. But let me sum it up by asking this. Can a person give what he does not have? The answer is no. You must have something before you give.
All right, the discussion is still on. We still have our guests in the studio. We'll just take a quick break, and then we return. We'll be still looking at this issue, and then we'll find a way to infiltrate into it the Ruga settlement issue. Please stay with us, don't go away.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And Monte never even reach self. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir.
I'm here to bail my younger brother.
Happen.
With good laws,
Proper funding.
Training.
and cooperation.
If it happen.
Yes, you're welcome back. The discussion is still hot here in the studio, and we still have Otumba Bamidele Ajayi Smith and Mr. Justice Uhebu here in the studio. Now I want to ask this question. We have the Southwest leaders, Southeast leaders, the South-South leaders, and the Middle Belt Democrats are agitating for this restructuring of democracy. They are agitating for it, and these people have come together, you know, to like form a front to ask for restructuring. Do you see them actually making a headway with this agitation?
Well, you see, Jumoke, for me, many of these things happen.
Are they coming too late?
No, it's not that they come too late, but many of these things are gang up. For me, it is gang up against the present government. That is the truth.
But they have restructuring in their manifesto.
It is.
Why would you say it's a gang up?
No, the people who have, look, if you say you want to manage this station, you write a proposal. What is manifesto? your proposal to the people.
Yeah.
And you get to this place, to Muri International, you discover a lot of things has to be done. You see, it is easier for us. I am speaking as a development practitioner. It is easier for us to speak and to make a lot of noise when you are not there. But as soon as you come into the mainstream of the activities, you will discover there are a lot of things that are very difficult to do, especially in view of the fact that you still have people who doesn't want that government to be successful.
All right, let's hold it there. Now, if we see that from what he has said, one of the challenges of this administration is actually insecurity. And it involves banditry, kidnapping, killings, you know, and all that. Now, if we say that restructuring is actually breaking the system into manageable pieces, Barrister, do you see this as something that is not achievable?
Well, the truth is this. You know why I'm laughing?
Small manageable pieces.
No, why won't it be achievable? You see, everything in life, it depends on what I call sincerity of purpose. Do we have sincerity of purpose in whatever you're doing? Like an example my father gave here, if I write a proposal to do something and I get in there and discover that I cannot do, what do? I quit. And that is why the whites are different from us.
No, let's not talk about
No,
quitting.
I'm coming. I'm
surprised.
Let's be realistic. That is the way the whites do.
No.
Because let me tell
you aren't
as
at that level.
at the time you are giving campaign promises to people, you have entered into a social contract with the people. That is the one thing people don't understand. And the moment you get there and it's not happening, but the law says, the constitution says that security and welfare of the people.
Instead of using that word quit, don't you think that if you enter a system and you find out that you cannot manage it
then
as a whole, you still break it down into pieces, if you can't
win them, you join them.
The
issue of breaking into pieces now is the issue of restructuring we're talking about,
true, yes.
Which the federal government seems not to be interested. Because if you look at the body language, that is what it means. That is what it shows. The federal government seems not to be interested with the issue of restructuring.
Do you see the angle? Do you see it from the angle he's saying that it's like a gang up of the leaders?
Oh, there are a lot of gang ups.
By who? By who? Against who? Let me tell you one thing. Sorry, sir. Let us not misunderstand ourselves. We are in a national television. You cannot gang it up against yourself. We are all Nigerians. Unfortunately, the problem we're having is that many people feel they are some people feel they are the owners of this country. But no, we are all stakeholders in this country. We are no longer in the era of animal farm, where it was said that some animals are more equal than others. No, we are all equals. Remember, it's just like my Oga there. You have children, you have great-grandchildren and all the rest. So we are all in. Ojukwu wrote a book because I'm involved. Go and read that book. So when you say there is a gang up, you are being political. A gang up by who? If there is a gang up, no, sir. I'm coming, sir. You know, you raised it. You say there is a gang up. Yeah. A gang up by who? A gang up against who? There's nothing like that. The issue is this. Take me by my words. If you have told me something, any day, any time, I judge people by what they say. Any day Nigerians look at me, let them remember all my appearances on national television and challenge me by it anytime I get into any public office. And if I am found wanting any of them, I will either apologize or I leave. Let me tell you the truth. But the problem we have in Nigeria is that we don't tell ourselves the truth. I talked about sincerity of purpose. Are we sincere in whatever we are doing?
Yes,
or do we just want to get things?
Do you think we are sincere enough to be able to pursue?
We are not even patient enough to find out the sincerity of purpose. Barrister is talking about the truth. The truth. What you think is the truth today, you will discover in another one that is not the truth. Well, because you are not there. The issue is that you have an idea and you want it executed. We've been on this for 60 years. Next year will be 60 years. I've been rolling around talking about restructuring, this and that since the British left us. Let me correct an issue. Even in civilized nation, developed nation, it's not everybody that will just say, oh, I got there. There is Brexit there. The issue of Brexit has been going on for a very long time. People wanted made to get out of the way. She struggled. She did all she could to retain her position. That's British. You understand? It doesn't mean every little thing. And don't forget that our level of development is not at the level you are talking about. I know you will not even do it. You will not do it. You only say it in the public. But when it comes to practice, it doesn't apply that way. What we are saying is this. Restructuring. I don't see anything in this government that goes against restructuring. But there, because you are not sitting down there, there are so many things to put in place. I just told you that 165 nations out of 193 nations of member of the United Nations are not practicing it. Of course, they said they are doing, they are practicing true federalism, but it is quasi. Oftentimes, go to Britain, go and see their relationship with other nations there. The Wales, and other countries around them, you will see that part of the activities of their practice of democracy or federalism, it's partly unitary. Do you understand? The same thing with America. What we are saying, if Nigeria, because of our nature, we always want things to happen overnight. If we begin to feel that, oh, Buhari should just come and probably refers back to this region that we used to have. I was young too. At the time this was practiced. I'm not an old man that you are referring to. Do you understand?
As old as you're thinking.
Yes. I'm in my 60s. Look, the problem of this country started way back 60 years. The moment the British people left, we are like children that were, Agbada was put on you.
All right, so are you still saying that there's really no meeting point with practicing true federalism?
It is good as we agitate. No. We will. We have started it. Part of it is what the government is saying now is that for about 10 years past, local government has become useless.
All right,
in a way.
So for you, that is starting.
It's one of the starting points.
All right, sir. Let's put it there. All right, now because we have a limited time on the program.
Yeah.
Still talking about practicing true federalism and this recent issue of the Ruga settlement. I know they've called it cattle colony. They've called it so many names in the past, but the present name is the Ruga. Now, if we say that we want to practice true federalism, does it involve this having, although they have come out to say they are not imposing it on any state, that it's only any state that is ready to run with the scheme that will be part of it. Do you see it as rippling the waters, or?
As far as I'm concerned, I can't connect it because it's laughable and it's a shame. Like you said, they've called it several names: cattle settlement, this regional colony, and all that. Now, those ones failed. They now baptize it again with a new name they call Ruga. It will still fail. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know the mind and the intention of this administration. Because one, the issue of cattle settlers or cattle rearing is purely a private business. If the federal government wants to go into cattle rearing, that should be under the Ministry of Agriculture. Which they should come out and tell Nigerians, we want to acquire a land. And if I would suggest, they've told us they have conquered Zambeza forest. Let them go to Zambeza. It will take all the cattle in Nigeria.
That is funny.
It will take, yes, it will take. So, but what I'm trying to say here is this. Why would the government be so interested in people's private business? People are going into farming today, individuals. You see them, they buy land. They go into farming business. Their own business, making gains on their own. How would this benefit the federal government?
You know, I said something at the beginning of the program that I actually read on this Ruga scheme. And it's actually laudable because it's supposed to increase the IGR for the country. You know, all the products of animals, that you have the skin, you have the leather, you have the flesh, you know, and
let me
all
tell
that.
you.
And it's good for exportation.
Let me tell you, on whose name, on whose mandate, on whose authority? Are you establishing it for the federal government? There are two different things here. What I mean is, sir, does the federal government want to establish Ruga settlement for the federal government or for the under the Ministry of Agriculture?
Right,
or what? Wait a minute. Or is it a private? Wait a minute. Is it because there are some people that are known in this country that this is their business? Or are you trying to aid them? How would it affect? How would it increase our IGR? How?
Justice.
All those things are fallacy as far as I'm concerned.
Justice.
All right, let's hear.
Now, two things I want to counsel you. It is always good for us to be positive. Positive in our thoughts.
Not
Wait
on
a minute.
things that are wrong.
On your national issues.
I can never be positive on anything that is wrong, or that my mind did not accept.
That is the beginning
I'm
of
a human
failure
rights
of a
lawyer
nation.
for Christ's sake.
Now, when this issue of Ruga came, I read about it just a few days ago. And federal government says, the vice president's office says, we don't know anything about Ruga. But we know something about the, I noted the name down here. We know something about the National Livestock Transformation Plan. Well, I have actually not, I mean, if Ruga it's an acronym, it doesn't stand with this one. But the reality is, just like you said, federal government, this is a problem that has been consuming this country even before you were born. When I was a small boy, it remains. But what we are saying now is that government is looking for solution. You are talking of solution to various problems that we have.
Do you see it as a solution
It
in
is
the midst of the level of insecurity we have? That's the angle.
Those insecurity that we have, it's a majority of them, I would say without fear of contradiction, that more than 70% are a way to just make this government unpopular.
All right.
Now, let me conclude.
We need to go.
Yeah, let me just say this, that if the government is spending 91 billion, according to the record, and the same government will be making 2-point-something trillion for this nation, it's a good idea.
Spending billion and then
About 90,
making
Trillions.
trillions
over 2 trillion
with this project.
with this project.
Which project?
It's fantastic.
Is it a federal government
It doesn't
project?
matter.
Is it coming at the right
One,
time?
it's not coming at the right time. Two, it's not a federal government business. Three, it is a private business. So the government has nothing to do with it. All of the ones has failed. The Ruga
Okay,
also
let us
fail.
send
As
a
far as I'm
proposal.
concerned. I'm not sending any
Thank you
proposal.
so much,
It's anti-people, it is unpopular, and it's against the people's wish.
Thank you
we
so
must
much.
respect the people's
And
wish.
Mr. Justice Uwembu and Otumba Bamidele.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
It's
for being a
nice
part of
being
it.
here.
And thank you, our viewers, for staying with us on the program.
Yeah.
Well, we had differing views on the program today, but I know that you'll be able to take your stand where you belong on national issues. See you again on Wednesday. I'm Jumoke Michaels. Bye-bye.